Hello everyone, welcome to the FangBo's classroom. I'm FangBo. Today I'm going to teach you a technique. It might not be very beginner friendly, and it's relatively specialized. I'm going to teach you the forehand counterdrive, the basics of this move. It's different from the against topspin, because for topspin, you need to complete the motion, and you need a certain backswing. But for forehand counterdrive, you can't. The backswing can't be too big. The key to this move is the waist. Using the waist to lock the strength, using the waist to generate power, and the motion can't be too complete. All the power needs to be concentrated at one point. To hold the ball, to counteract the spin with power, and you need more time to hold the ball. You need to have this feeling of completely holding the ball in your hand, and the shot needs to be thicker than usual. The first key point is prediction. You need to know which shot you can counterdrive and which shot you can't. You need to make predictions in advance. Firstly, only slow loop can be counterdriven. If the opponent is smashing forward, you can only defend or do a quick return. So whether you can counterdrive depends on the quality of your serve or your chopping long shot. The quality of this ball determines whether you can counterdrive. So you need to check the height of your chopping. To judge how to deal with the next round, if you chop a very ordinary underspin shot, and the quality is not high, for this kind of ball, the opponent has a lot of space to smash. You can't counterdrive at all. So you must make the opponent drive a slow loop, or push it to an uncomfortable position, so they can't hit it hard. Only then can you possibly counterdrive, or if your shot lands just off the table and is relatively low, making the opponent drive a slow loop. Then you can counterdrive. So first, you need to understand which shot you can counterdrive, and which shots you need to defend against. Let me demonstrate for you. For a shot like this, it's about the quality of your pushing is very low. The shot is a little high. The opponent has space to hit hard. You can't counterdrive. So once this happened, you need to be prepared to defend. You can't prepare to counterdrive. Let me demonstrate again. For a shot like this, you can prepare to counterdrive in advance, because the shot I push just lands off the table, and it's very low. The opponent can't hit it hard. So you can think of ways to prepare for a loop in advance. So prediction is very crucial, including in a match. Some active long pushes are actually judged based on the quality of your last shot, how you should deal with the next round, what choices to make. Let me demonstrate again for you. For a shot like this, the quality of my push isn't high, and the speed is very slow. He has space to hit hard. In this situation, don't attempt to counterdrive. For this ball, just stand in place and be prepared to defend, because there's no space for that. And you won't have time either. This ball is very fast, so you can't counterdrive. Let me demonstrate again. For a shot like this, have you seen? It's hit very low and has spin a lot, but I'm prepared to counterdrive. I can adjust for it. So I can counterdrive, because I've pushed very well at first, and it's hit to this baseline position. It's lifted passively, so no matter how he drives it, I can still counterdrive, because he can't generate much power, so you need to distinguish. Prediction is key.
Table tennis requires mastering many complex techniques. For most players, even reaching an advanced amateur level takes years. More importantly, it's very hard to learn on your own. You need at least a practice partner, and hiring a coach long-term can be very expensive. Practicing single ball drills with friends is not enough. Many skills require multiple training. That's why I recommend this ball. Advantage 1: outstanding value. From design to sales channels, everything is simplified to cut costs while extending durability, fully meeting the needs of most beginner and intermediate players for multiple training. Advantage 2: extra low ball outlet. It can deliver short balls and half-long balls that barely clear the net, simulating real match conditions. Most bots under $500 cannot do this. Advantage 3: ultra portable. Weighing just 1.3 kg, it's very easy to use. Simple knobs control spin and placement. If you're interested, check out our channel's store link below the video. If shipping to your region isn't supported, just leave us a message through the store's email. See if we can mail it to you.
The second point is positioning and adjustment. After you've pushed, you probably know where he's going to drive it and the arc of his shot. You need to make your positioning adjustment preemptively. You can't wait for the ball to come first. Let's say I've pushed a long shot to his backhand position. Before he's hit it, you need to understand it's very difficult for him to hit it here. So you need to predict, probably in this position, waiting for his shot to come. You can make some last-minute adjustments, and then you can hit the ball. If you don't move after you've pushed, you're standing in this position, and he hits it here. How can you counterdrive? You won't be able to move at that point. So you must position yourself preemptively, in a general position. Then if he hits it short or long, you can make last-minute adjustments. This is also a crucial point. The third point is the most important, which is hitting the ball. Because many people, they predict, they position themselves, they adjust, but they keep making mistakes in the final hit. Let me tell you why. Because each ball comes with different spin, different heights, so your contact point varies. The timing of your hit varies. And also the extension after you hit varies. So I'm telling you, it's more detailed, this aspect. First of all, everyone needs to understand that power can counteract spin. In the case of a very spinny shot from the opponent, if you use power to pierce through the bat, you can counteract the spin. This point, many professional players might understand. Power counteracts spin. And then there's the arc. If the ball's arc is very low, using power won't work because you don't have an arc. Do you understand? If the shot is very low and quite short, right? The ball drops after passing the net. If you exert force, you have no space. This power won't control it. So you need to know which shot can be hit with power and which ones cannot. Only balls higher than the net can be hit with power, or balls with a longer bounce. What balls can't be hit with power? Those that are lower than the net and don't bounce much. Everyone, remember, this ball drops downward. There's no space for power. Everyone, remember, don't exert full force. Power won't counteract the spin because you have no arc. So even if you counteract the spin, either the ball will hit the net or fly directly out because its arc is very short, so exerting force won't work. And then there's the thickness of the shot. If the ball is very spinny and quite high, actually you can hit the ball thicker and directly counteract spin with power. Don't make the motion too long. Concentrate on hitting the ball. Shorten the range of motion and you can just make an impact. Focus on impact. Friction comes second, and then retract your arm faster. Actually, it's very easy to counterdrive this ball. And then there are longer shots to return. If you have space to exert force, make the motion a bit more complete. Hit the ball solidly. Use power to counteract the spin. It's feasible. The two most common types of shots that can be counter-driven in matches. The first is above the net, with a relatively high arc. How should you counterdrive this ball? First of all, this ball is above the net. Everyone must raise their hand. Use power to counteract the spin. No matter how much spin the ball has, as long as it's above the net, you can counteract it with power. And then what's crucial in looping this ball is your waist. You must lock the power with your waist. The waist shouldn't loosen. If your waist loosens, the ball will fly away. So use your waist to lock the power, and then use power to counteract it. Make the motion a bit shorter. Don't make it too long. Let me demonstrate for you all. Look, the shots he's driving are all above the net. So remember, when driving this type of shot, your hand must be raised, and concentrate your strength to hit the ball. Use force to penetrate and concentrate the power. Then you can return any spin. So 4 shots above the net. Use power to counteract the spin. Lock the power with your waist. Another type of shot is relatively more difficult. It's hitting low below the net, and the ball is quite short. Extremely low shots. We call it ultra-low return in matches. Ultra-low return and hitting high balls are different. For higher net, everyone needs to raise your hands to hit it. Shot that's below the net. First of all, your center of gravity needs to come down. Your legs must squat down. Because only by squatting down can you look level at the ball. If you stand too high, and the ball is here, you won't be able to drive it. So legs and center of gravity are crucial. The lower he hits, the lower you need to squat. At the same time, your hand should be lower too. And then the hitting method for this kind of shot is different from hitting high arching shots. For high arching shots, you need to hit below the net. You don't have space to hit because its arc is parallel to the net. When you hit it, the ball can only fly either into the net, so you must add some arc. You need more friction. To lift the ball, you need to control the ball on the racket for a longer time. Let me demonstrate for you all. Look, these shots he's hitting are very low, right? You can't hear the sound of my hitting because I'm squatting lower. I'm lifting the ball up and using spin to counteract his spin. So for ultra-low shots, remember this key point. Never forward smash, or you won't control it, and there won't be any arc, no matter what kind of ball comes over. When you do a counter-driving, your waist is always the core. Your waist must be locked. Only then can this ball be within your control. If your waist is loose, you won't use any force, and the ball won't be controlled. And for a high ball, your hand must be high. If the shot were low, your center of gravity need to be low. Your legs low, your hand low. Remember these points, and you'll do well in counter-driving.